So when you say that you're a cancer rehabilitation expert, what kind of work are you doing?
My education basically is that of a maxillofacial prosthodontist and an anaplastologist. I restore parts of the face, not surgically, but using prosthetics.
By the time they leave, they must be so grateful to you. You must be collecting so much gratitude in your life from them and their families.
And you realize, half their face is missing, their, jaw is at a different place altogether.
Yeah.
I'm not looking good. I'm just going to cancel my plans. Now imagine you don't have half your nose and you have to deal with that every day. There's nothing you can do about it.
Where we speak heart to heart and conversations flow, this is the Mehak Ankar Show. We invite people from different walks of life on this show where they come and share their life stories, the kind of work they're doing, especially which is inspirational to so many of us in many ways. Today, we have Dr. Reiyaal R Goveas with us, who is a cancer rehabilitation expert. Welcome to the show, Reiyaal.
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for having me.
So when you say that you're a cancer rehabilitation expert, what kind of work are you doing?
So my education basically is that of a maxillofacial prosthodontist and an anaplastologist. I know, tongue twisters as such, very big words.
So tell us more about what was it that you were doing?
So this basically deals with restoring parts of the face, okay, and the head and neck for patients who have undergone any sort of trauma from, accidents, burns, and primarily within the cancer space. So as you know, and we all have seen so many patients, they go through very debilitating surgeries in order to just remove the cancer, So it's a life-saving surgery. But what happens in that is that many of them are left disfigured. They're not functionally as well as aesthetically. And I come in to sort of change that, whereas I restore parts of the face, not surgically, but using prosthetics. So in a lot of conditions, plastic surgery is usually the first option. It's something that we go for always. But in many cases, it's not possible, especially when we're dealing with cancer. So in those cases, these patients do require prosthetics.
So when you say that if it is because of cancer, then plastic surgery is not possible, what is the reason for that?
No, I'm not saying it's not possible. It is very much possible, and it is the go-to. Okay, so plastic reconstruction, and that is done in the first stage itself, and then of course you have other conditions. But when you're dealing with cancer, what is so unique is that these patients undergo radiation, they undergo chemotherapy. So these treatments tend to make patients it makes it very difficult for them to undergo multiple procedures surgically. Okay.
Yeah.
So in those cases, you can't leave them that way, right? They do need some sort of restorative work done that helps them function. So that is where I come in, and I can make parts of their face with silicone, so it looks exactly like the skin. Touch and feel is like the skin. And we match the color of the patient, the shade of the patient, the aesthetic look of the patient, and we give them these prosthetics that are either, stuck on by special medical glues or on implants that we have. So this allows them to be whole again, as we say.
I'm not only talking about the physical condition, but I'm talking about the mental condition also because of the physical condition. And by the time they leave, they must be so grateful to you. You must be collecting so much gratitude in your life from them and their families.
So it's a very fulfilling job. Okay. A lot of people, you become their psychologist in a way also. You deal with their mental health, you deal with their family's mental health. And along with that, you are also treating them, because these treatments are long drawn. It's not like a quick fix. It takes some time. You're spending hours with that patient over a period of a month or so, to fabricate this. So the amount of conversations you have, some of these life stories that they have are like pretty amazing, where they come from, what they do. And you really, really feel like, I want to do something to at least make them feel like, I want to go back to doing this again. I think that is the biggest win, especially when you're dealing with cancer treatments, is that you bring a patient back into society. It's literally like they're living their life again, like they're reborn.
So they were like in total isolation. Have you had like any cases where people would not feel comfortable even to talk to their family members and, cover their faces most of the time? So,
Absolutely. So what we have over here, you'll see so many of these patients, they're walking around with, their handkerchiefs around their face. Whenever they come to see me for the first time, I'm only looking at like, just that much. You're not seeing what's there. And then they take off their handkerchief and you realize, half their face is missing, their, jaw is a different place altogether. And, they're just literally, you're looking at what you would see in, I wouldn't say like horror movies and such, but it's something where you're looking at someone who's really, really suffering. You can see it mentally also. Like, they're like, I'm not being able to eat properly.
yeah.
I'm not able to drink. And when I'm saying that, I'm just saying like the basics. Like, I can't eat with a spoon.
Yeah.
Something that we take for granted.
Yeah.
Honestly, just simple eating, drinking, talking.
True.
Something that makes you human. Communication, right? And they're not able to do that. So you can understand what that makes them feel. Like I had one case where this gentleman had undergone plastic surgery 6 times.
Oh my God.
But they weren't able to. So like literally half his face was missing. Okay. And the only thing what he told me was, I just want to be able to sit in my hall with my family without people staring at me. That's all I want to do. That's something so simple. But that's his wish. That is all he wanted to do, because he couldn't talk really because of all the plastic surgery and this and that, and he was already eating through a feeding tube and so on and so forth. So he's like, I just want to sit somewhere where people don't stare at.
And such a basic thing, all of us just take it for granted. And how, a lot of, like now a lot of sensitivity has come, but I'm talking about a time where there was not enough sensitivity in the society, where, if you see somebody who's disfigured or handicapped and then, was mocked or made fun of, and then it becomes so difficult for them to lead a normal daily life.
But you are talking about sensitivity only in like, tier 1 cities and so on and so forth. Otherwise, in a lot of parts of the country, that sensitivity is still not there.
Do you get people from different parts of the country to come to you?
All over the country.
Yeah.
All over.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's the problem that we usually deal with, is that the knowledge and education about this speciality, okay, is so less in our country that even some of the doctors don't know that this exists.
Wow.
Okay. Like I'm talking about people who have treated cancer for like very long periods of time and so on and so forth. They're like, we didn't know that this is actually there in our country now. So they're not being referred properly, or this is not happening correctly, right? So the chain of management is sort of lost, and it gets hard for these patients, because they have already spent so much money on just their basic survival treatment, okay, which is the surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, that they don't know that they have to get rehabilitation done.
Yeah.
Or they can't afford the rehabilitation.
Yeah. So when you talk about rehabilitation, you were saying that they don't even know that it is a possibility. So what is it that we're talking about? Like what kind of rehabilitation are we talking about?
So when you talk about cancer rehabilitation, okay, it's multifaceted. It's not just physiotherapy, which is what everyone thinks about, okay? There are actually tons of different specialities that the patient has to go through in order to get back to living their new life, okay, what we say. So especially if there's a head and neck patient, it becomes more complex because you're dealing with the face, okay? You're dealing with the inlet of food, you're dealing with all of those things. So there's like speech and swallow therapy, there's audiology, there is physiotherapy, nutrition, psychology, occupational therapy, okay? And then we also add in my specialty, of course, there's basic dentistry, then there's maxillofacial prosthetics, there's anaplastology. So, all these specialties actually have to come together in order to rehabilitate these patients. So it is long drawn and it becomes difficult, but the patients also, as well as their treating surgeons, also need to understand that this is something that is pivotal in getting the patient back to life. Because I've had so many of these patients saying that, okay, I'm living now, but is this life? That's something that's very, very important to understand. That they're like, and some of them actually say that, I wish I went away with this disease because I can't live like this. I can't eat, I can't drink, I can't walk outside without people staring at me. I can't talk to my family.
That must have had such a deep impact on you also as a person when you go through that kind of emotion day in and day out with someone. Of course, it's a skill when you're a professional. So when you're doing a procedure, it's a different space that you're in altogether. But, dealing with human beings with such emotions might be having its own impact on your own life.
Oh, no, absolutely. So it definitely makes you more compassionate, obviously, more empathetic. And it just makes you understand that, whatever we take for granted, as we say, is something that's truly worth being grateful for on a daily, continuous basis. Because, like, imagine, like, you have a pimple on your face sometimes and you're like, I don't want to go out today.
Yeah.
I'm not looking good. I'm just going to cancel my plans. And now imagine you don't have half your nose. And you have to deal with that every day. There's nothing you can do about it.
You can't even imagine. I mean, it's so challenging for me on the show to talk about it and imagine and what you might be going through on a daily basis. But then at a point in a doctor's life also, that you also become like it becomes a routine. But has there been a time where you thought that you were just doing a job and you'll just do it like normally, but that hit you so hard that you had to, kind of come back and maybe cleanse yourself, or I'm talking about mentally cleansing yourself or healing, or you needed some time to introspect, go back. Has that happened with you ever?
So thankfully, it's always been that I've taken this as, a means of treating people. All right. So yes, it is a job, but I think it gets very rewarding when you see that look on their face, so that sort of eliminates half the struggle that you have gone through. Okay. But where it gets really difficult and gets frustrating is the entire mechanism of how these patients are getting their treatment done, or how they get lost during their treatment. Or what frustrates me the most is when they cannot get the treatment because the system is not allowing to get them. This is not funded by the government. So it's either private funding that, you go to approach some trusts or you do something like that to get something, or we fund it ourselves. So I've done a lot of procedures where either it's pro bono, or, if my friends are doing it, I ask them, like, my colleagues just reduce your pricing. And it gets very difficult to do this. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, it is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable at all.
It is not sustainable at all. And then I'm sure that you come across various people who can not even afford like a single penny to get it done. And then, they might be coming to you for things like, we've been running from pillar to post, trying to make this work for us, trying to get some funding. We're not doing it. So I think that gets very tricky, and you can't do pro bono for everyone, because that, as you said, is not sustainable at all. So what kind of cost are we looking at when we're talking about these procedures? If, say, maybe you'll be able to tell me what is the kind of range that it requires.
So, okay, so now if you're looking at this as an international standard, okay, it can be quite high. Okay, so getting prosthetics made can be anywhere from $7,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
For one.
Wow.
And if I would tell you over here, what we usually do would be anywhere between 40,000 rupees to about lakh and a half, which is 150,000 rupees. It's really not that much.
Well, 1.5 lakh.
1.5 lakh. Okay, for something that will get the patient back to doing whatever they're doing. And 1.5 lakh is like the
highest,
the really high-end stuff with a lot of things going on and all. Otherwise, less than 50,000 rupees, if you're able to get something done, it's really not a heavy cost. But exactly what you said, a lot of these patients can't afford, forget 50,000 rupees, they can't afford even 5,000. They can't afford consultation fees.
Or the travel money from wherever they're coming from.
So this is one major lacuna that's there in our entire system. And it's not the system's fault, it's just that there's a sea, there's an ocean of patients out there. How many can, the system also take care of? So we have to sort of figure out ways and means by our own selves of how to do this. So that's why I have been really trying very hard now to develop my own hospital.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you're working on developing your own hospital.
Our own project, so that takes sort of care of a large amount of these patients, because it's easier for us to get funding. We're not dependent on other systems in order for us to take care of these patients. It's direct, conversation between the doctors and the patients. I've been on many international teams where we take care of, so I know the flow of patient work, how it's supposed to be done. And we don't lose our patients in, the entire process, because it's a long drawn process.
Yeah.
It's not like other surgeries, like, if you're having a heart attack or something, you get a heart attack, you get treated, 1 day surgery, and then you're out, then it's recovery and you're fine.
Yeah.
With cancer, it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of processes that the patient has to go through. Patient fallout rates are very high.
Yeah.
Because they get tired,
Yeah.
So here we are looking at providing an entire environment for such patients where they're taken care of through the entire treatment. It's not just the surgery, but we're even looking at the radiation, the chemotherapy, and the rehabilitation.
So it's all inclusive in that
all
one space
in
that
that
you're
one
trying to
space.
build. And are you building that here in Bombay? Or?
It'll be close by.
Okay.
Because the thing is, the way our system is as such right now is that some of the major hospitals that take care of this are located in Bombay.
Yeah.
So to start out with, we're looking at, somewhere in and around Bombay, which will be our primary center, because that will give us the initial, load. And then once that starts working and we, get the project going well here, then we will obviously branch out to different cities and centers across the country.
Yeah. So Reiyaal, on a daily basis, you've been dealing with so many patients who need your help and, to bring them back to society for leading a normal life. Anything that has left an impact on you, like, has etched itself in your memory, something that is, something that you cannot forget.
So, I mean, I get a lot of these, very impactful stories all the time, because these patients, I mean, you're literally being a part of someone's life.
Yeah.
And you're helping them sort of reach some milestones in that life. So you automatically get, very invested in that process. But the one that really started me off or made me feel really good about what I was doing was, this was during my training. So I was trained in Bangkok, in Mahidol University. Okay, so it's a 3-year program, but I spent 5 years because I also was a fellow there, and then I was an instructor as well. So I spent 5 years there. And it's a Buddhist. They have a lot of Buddhists over there, right? So one of the ceremonies is where you are becoming a monk. So when you're just becoming a monk, then you have the ceremony where everyone just comes and gives you something, or just like takes your initial blessings. So this mother came to me, and she used to work as in one of the factories, and she lost a few of her fingers on both her hands. So she came and she was like, and that time I didn't understand the language that much. So she just kept doing this, So I asked my assistants, why is she doing this? She just has one wish, which is she wants you to put the fingers back so that she can go to her son, because her son's becoming a monk in a month. And she just wants to go and pray to him and take his blessings when she's done that. So when I heard that, I was like, okay. And then she went and she got that done, and she was really happy. So that was done. And you could see the amount of how grateful she was when she did that. Because she was like, the one thing that I want to do now, I can't, because it will not, I can't put this together, and I can't make that symbol for when I want to pray to him. So it's stuff like that. Then another one where there was a 17-year college boy. Okay, he just got into college. Okay, and he had an electrical burns. He had lost half his ear. Okay, and he was very conscious of that. College going kid, going there for the first time.
Is that the picture that you shared with me?
Yeah. So going there for going into college and stuff, and he was very scared that people are going to make fun of him. So like you said, people are sensitive. They're really not.
Yeah.
They're really not, that it's not as rosy as we want it to be. And people are very brutal.
Oh, yeah.
And society is extremely brutal.
Yes.
So he was scared, right? And he was like, I don't know, I'm not confident about it. So then I made this prosthesis for him, because this is one of those cases where surgery is not possible. You're not able to get the same shape and everything. So prosthetic is required, right? And then I get a call for him. Then I'm very happy because I get a call from him every 3 months saying the adhesive is over. So that means he's using it consistently, and he's like, I cannot get out of my house now without wearing this. It is a part of me. I feel complete if I wear this, otherwise I feel very incomplete. So and he's like, I'm so happy now. College is going well, everything is going good. I have no problem.
Wow.
So it's just these. So like I'm saying, they're very small things that when they start doing and they realize, it might initially for the patient be a little bit of an inconvenience, but then it's just like like a new pair of shoes, right? Initially you're like, damn, I can't wear them. They're hurting here and there. But after some time you're like, I cannot move without these shoes. So these things become like that.
So how till some time back we only thought prosthetics was only for like, how you would think of Jaipur foot and, other things. But I'm sure not many people even today know that facial prosthetics are also a thing and that can be taken care of.
Absolutely.
So we've spoken about your work, we've spoken about what you do. We'll talk about it more later, but I also want to know you as a person, so what is behind, this profession, who Reiyaal is really. If I had to ask you, describe yourself, what would you say?
That deep question.
Right at the beginning, I shouldn't have asked, but
Yeah, so I guess it's someone who really, really wants to make a change in what I am seeing in what society is today, especially in my field. I know it is related to my work, but it's sort of become a personal mission for me to sort of change this entire scenario that's there. And okay, life has brought you along, and okay, you've done certain work and you've done in that field, but suddenly you realize that this is my calling, this is why I'm here, and this is what I want to do. So hence it's not necessarily just treating the patients, but actually developing an entire system where they're taken care of, a legacy, let's say, where it's an autonomous system. It takes care of them, and it doesn't matter who's treating, but they're getting treated.
And they're taken care of.
And
so
they're
that's
taken care of.
So
throughout everything.
that's your mission in life, and it is a purpose. Many people,
purpose.
many people, spend their lives thinking about what my purpose of life is, and you already know it at such a young age. You still look quite young. I'm not going to ask you your age, but
40, bro. Yeah, but okay. But thank you. Okay.
well, for a 40-year-old to know the purpose of his life is rare. It's really rare.
Thank you.
And you have arrived at a point where you know this. But then, what brought you to this point where you thought that this is the purpose? Any internal journeys that you have led that has brought you to this point here today?
So I guess, looking back, honestly, if you ask me, these past 3 years is where I have truly felt the largest amount of growth ever. All right. So 3 years ago, I was single. I became single. Okay. So I got divorced. And that led me on to this entire journey of, inward reflection, of trying to understand as to why, what happened, why am I like this, or, so on and so forth, and all those questions. And yeah, that journey has just been amazing. And I think, it's very important for everyone to sort of go on those little, I'm not saying they have to
Get divorced to go on that journey, of
please
course
don't,
not.
but you have to do certain things in your life that give you that sort of perspective, that strength, that individuality, that freedom. That's very important. At any stage of your life, you must do those things. You must stay by yourself. You must spend on your own bills. You must take care of your own family at certain point of stages. Some people don't do certain of these things, and I feel that takes away from that development. Now, this is my personal experience, so this is what I'm saying.
This talk is about your personal experience, so I think that's very good that you are sharing that with us. But if I go back 3 years, how do you see yourself in comparison with how do you see yourself today?
I sometimes can't recognize myself in the mirror, honestly. And I think a lot of this has to do with mental health, and talking to the right people. So I'm very blessed to have very, very close friends. My therapist is actually also one of them. I know that some people say it's a red flag. Your therapist should not be your friend and stuff like that. But I look at it another way. I'm like, I do not want to talk about this if you're not my friend. So I'm very grateful that, I have such lovely, caring and empathetic people surrounding me. And the minute you start clearing all those blocks, which is what they told me, the minute you start doing that, you just suddenly realize how simple things are. And we just make them more complicated in our own head. We are our worst enemy.
No, knowing you, like whatever I've spoken to you before, this, we have had a few chats and we've met in social settings. You are a very sorted person, at least that is how it comes across. And, we're all work in progress and
Absolutely.
keep, working on ourselves. So when you say that you cannot recognize yourself in the mirror when you see yourself today.
So it's surprising you say that I came across as very sorted, because internally I wasn't. Okay, we all put up that shield, that mask, and some of us do it really well, and some of us need to do it, with professions and so on and so forth, right? So internally you might be breaking down, but externally you're still smiling, and that's what the world sees, and that's what that's what they're supposed to see. But the minute you go into a corner, you're like, yeah, my world is broken apart, but I don't know what to do about it. And now I guess the difference is at coming to peace as to it's not broken apart. It's just a part of the
Rearranging.
journey. It's just, it's taking care of itself. The minute you keep saying that it's breaking apart, then it'll feel like it's breaking apart.
Yeah.
But if you just understand it's exactly what you said, it's rearranging itself, the puzzle pieces are fixing themselves in the right way, that you really realize, that it's all good, and stop being so hard on yourself, stop putting milestones, timelining yourself.
So you did a lot of that before.
Yeah, and no, recently, I'm talking to you in the past like 6 months, this is what's happened. So I'm also really amazed. Like even my therapist is like, this doesn't happen so quickly, but I'm glad you are on this journey now.
So now you put more pressure on yourself, or you're saying that you don't put that much pressure on yourself?
I don't.
But earlier you used to.
Immensely.
So like, everything needs to be perfect. I need to be on time. I need to be this person who seems perfect. And, people should perceive me as somebody who has it in control. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And that puts a lot of pressure on yourself, and it's small things, just like how you're saying, being on time. Yeah, I'm not saying like, be tardy every time and all of that, but if you have meetings, if you have other people involved, please be on time. Respect other people's time also. But when you're dealing with yourself, and if you're putting certain timelines, understand it's life, okay?
And be kind.
And be kind. So that it doesn't have to happen on that specific time, that very day. That's who I was. Like, I'm like, in this month, this is going to happen, means it has to happen this month only. And it might happen 3 months later.
And then you made your life a challenge for yourself and for others around you.
Right. And then what you realize is you're not prepared to get this in a month. So I manifest a lot now. I believe in that at least.
You do?
A lot. It definitely allows me to be a lot. It allows you to dream. I think that's what people, when they sort of adult, they forget what it is to dream, and just be that kid. But I've never really just sat down and appreciated the city. Just literally just sat down, taken a break, and be like, hey, Mumbai rains, people talk, I hate the rains.
So, like, you click good pictures?
I think so.
Like, the women in your life, when you click their pictures, are they happy?
No, that's why I stick to landscape.
It
No, it never works. Apparently, I take the worst pictures if it comes to taking a picture of my partner or even myself. So,
I have this very interesting theory. I don't know. This was something that I was thinking about. So there was this guy in my life who I would ask him to click a photo and he would take the worst photo. Like even a kid who doesn't know how to take a photo would take a better picture. And we would have like fights about it and I would feel so disappointed. Fights to come, but I'll be like so disappointed that how anybody else is able to click like a nicer picture of me and I'm not that bad looking that, but how in your pictures I never look okay. I'm always looking weird. So then I came up with this theory. You tell me whether that is true or not. I feel people who do not take time to appreciate beauty or what they have don't click good pictures?
No, I just think that we are so busy looking at you when we're doing them that we'll never do a picture dust.
No, it's not about me here.
Anyone, our partners, our partners, our partners, our partners. When we're looking at our partners, for example, we're just so enamored by them that we are not going to do it. Not at all.
Oh, yes, it is.
Not at all.
Absolutely. All you guys say to take it away from this, thing of bad pictures. But it is true. Just give it a thought. You don't have to like really debate with me on this today. You can give me a call a month later. Click pictures and then, just review it and then give me a call a month later and tell me what do you think about it. It's not, I'm not here to debate. It's just a theory I've come up with that if you're a person who's always very busy with achieving your goals and you are ambitious, which is great. I like people who are ambitious, but they don't take a moment to reflect or they don't take a moment to see the city, as you said. You will not know what you're looking at or what is beauty, You'll capture beauty only when you see it.
I think that is a very, very valid point, and I completely agree with it. I'll translate it to pictures now and I'll let you know. Okay, less than a month, don't worry. But yeah, appreciating beauty, the small things, forget just enjoying moments, enjoying the moment, being present. You see everyone talk about it and, there's so much online about it and everything. You're like, theek hai, we'll get there. But honestly, do it. Just take those few moments to sit down with your partner, your loved ones, or even yourself and just enjoy something that's around you and could be the smallest, most mundane thing. And you really start feeling like, everything's okay. The world does slow down around you. Things do feel nicer. And that stress and everything that you're feeling sort of gets mitigated. So it's something very, very important. And I've just recently started discovering it and I think it's fantastic.
So, you are in a field where you're working and, it could get mundane sometimes because, you're sticking to a certain routine, you're going there, seeing patients, figuring out how to get things done, measuring it. I don't know what all involves in the procedures that you do. What do you do in order to break that monotony in your life? What is it that you do? So who are you outside of your profession? Like, of course, not asking you to internalize it, but asking that what are the things that you do, like really action things that you do to break away from the monotony of work?
Definitely exercise. So I love hitting the gym. I love cooking as well. So that works really well for me. I just made
You've never cooked for me yet.
I've just gotten better, that's why.
You were perfecting the skill.
Yeah. And now enjoying it more also. No? So now you can definitely, now we can do it. There's great shawarma last time. So yeah, definitely.
All right. I love
It's
it already.
happening.
Okay.
And meditation, I've started getting into that. Zone. Just reflecting on things, and I think it becomes a lot better. It really resets everything. Just a good session with yourself. Which, I've always enjoyed being alone and so on. So, but it was always doing like, watching TV or, listening to music and stuff like that.
That's not being with yourself.
It's not being with yourself, right? Even though you're like, I spend time alone, right? But I'm listening to music or I'm reading a book. Okay, they're great activities to do, but that's not literally being with yourself. I think meditation is that one thing. And there's so many different ways of meditating also. It's not like everyone has to sit in this one particular pose and close your eyes and do it. You can even, it's just shutting your mind down, basically, and reflecting on certain thoughts and, what makes you tick exactly. So that question that you ask, what makes you? Right? So it's really fun. Like this exercise is great where you're like, introduce yourself without your name, without your profession, without your location. Okay, without
who you are actually comes out.
Who are you? So, and once you do that, you'll see people will just like be like, I have no idea.
I don't think I can still answer that question.
It's so hard. It is ridiculously hard, like when you take away those things that you are innately going to just say, this is who I am, this is what I do, and that defines you.
Yeah.
And that thought has come to me just off late because you always relate who you are to your work.
Yeah. And very funny thing. And how I'm talking so much on this show, I have no idea. I usually just ask questions, but with you, I'm also like having such a good time sharing my experiences. So very funny that a lot of times when you ask someone, what do you do? They don't tell you what they do. They tell you where they work. And it's very weird. You ask them, what do you do? I work with Deloitte. I work with Accenture. I work with this bank. And like, I never asked you which company you worked with. Like, people invariably will answer this question as where they work. They will never say what they do.
Right.
And like, I asked you what you do. I didn't, so what do you do is my question. The question is not where do you work.
Correct.
So,
It's amazing. So it's basically people have gotten so used to that race, that rat race that everyone's going into. So I think all these processes, and I think mental health and seeing how you might think you're okay, but actually most of us are pretty messed up, and seeking, I'm not saying it always has to be professional help, but at least having those difficult conversations with yourself
first. Yeah.
first, okay? And then maybe, and the thing is, people don't even understand that that's a problem. The thing is very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is, and that so-called trauma that everyone has to has grown up with.
Yeah.
It can be something very, very small, which is insignificant to an adult mind.
But addressing it,
But
or
addressing it
acknowledging it, then addressing it, then accepting it, and then
and healing from it.
healing from it and planning your way forward in life is so important. You're so right, because in India or anywhere in the world,
places.
first of all, mental health, there are people who talk about it, and they are pro it, and they are absolutely in favor of it. But there are people who still feel that men, especially men, macho to tabhi hoenge jab you'll not show your vulnerable side or your weak side, or even acknowledge it within your own self, and then half the battle is lost there.
Yeah, it's you. If you're not aware of who you are, why do you think in a certain way? What makes you tick? It's actually very interesting, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great exercise to do for yourself, and you learn so much from it that all of a sudden you don't feel the need to do so many of the things that you'll be pushing yourself for, all that pressure that you're putting on yourself. It really melts away, and you do it a lot easier. And it gives you back a lot more. So you feel that, oh no, by me becoming so relaxed about it, I'm going to lose this or lose that. It actually comes back way more. You get more abundant with it, and you're enjoying it. It's something that's very important. Most of the people don't enjoy what they do.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you realize that mental health was very pivotal in your life? It was very important. When was the time that you realized and started working on it?
So like I said, like I got divorced, and even then I was like, theek hai, dekh lenge, whatever. I got into another relationship which I was in for about 2 years, and she was a big proponent of seeing a therapist and so on and so forth. I thought it was all nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Like most men would say that,
And
what
I'm like,
is
no,
it that a
theek hai.
therapist can tell me that I don't know already?
Paisa kyun do uske liye?
Why should I pay
Why
so
should I
much money?
spend?
Absolutely,
I just talk to a friend and I'll be good. Have a couple of drinks and
ऐसा
you're
क्या
good to go.
बताएगा वो मुझे वहाँ पे जाके?
Exactly. And then, but then that relationship broke. And it broke for reasons which made me really question as to why do I keep feeling this way? Or why do I keep breaking out of these patterns? Sorry, why am I always in these patterns? And I want to change that, And I remember she kept telling me, you need therapy. You need therapy. Something like this, you're reacting this because you think of it. I'm like, boss, chill, don't give me all your stuff.
Like, don't try to be gnani with me.
Yeah, it's all good. Okay. But then I went. Okay. And this was a friend of mine. Okay. So it was already on that comfort zone, she's a therapist herself. So she was like, let's just have a conversation. Just talk to me. And I was very comfortable with her. So I'm like, I tried a few other sessions before with other people. Maybe that was my problem, that I found it too clinical. I found it too clinical. Like, your time starts now. We have 5 minutes left. This is the payment link. Thank you for your service. Bye-bye. That's it. I didn't feel that is what I wanted to do. Right?
You did not feel understood.
I didn't feel it. So here was she like, let's just talk. Spoke for maybe an hour and a half. And then I was like, boss, I need to do this. Like, this is what I was looking for in this entire scenario, and then 6 months down the line, I'm like, even it's not something that is a continuous process necessarily, but the process of you reflecting on yourself is continuous. So it's not like once you start, people are like, nahi, ek baar chale gaye na, so then you're like stuck.
Then they want you to
Then
keep
they
coming
want you to
back.
keep. No, it's not that way. You work on yourself. You see the doctor when there's something wrong, you feel better about it, and then you step away. Naya kuch problem aata hai, then again you'll go back, right?
So
Same
whenever
thing.
you feel the need, right? I mean,
So now I'm at that stage.
I have had people telling me that, why do you go to your therapist? He just wants you to keep coming back to him for money. He's trapped you.
No, he's not. No, not your looks, your money.
Huh?
He's not calling you back for your looks, but your money.
Yes. You don't know. I haven't asked him that. Maybe I should go back and ask him that. Is it my money or my looks? What are you after?
Kuch to bach jayega.
Only you could come to the show and say this. Yeah. So I've been told that they trap you. And
Yeah.
yeah, so now I have to really go back and introspect about it. How this guy is leaving me with so many things to go back home and think about. I really want to talk to you a lot more. Maybe we should plan one more session with you
Absolutely. I'd
very,
love
very
to.
soon.
I'd love
And we
to.
should wear matching clothes again, which we wore, by the way, without realizing.
Coincidentally.
Telepathy, which is great.
Manifested.
Manifested it. I want to talk about manifestation with you as well. Maybe on the next,
Sure.
some other episode that we invite you out on the
Absolutely.
show.
Absolutely.
But I really want to thank you for joining us today. It was really nice talking to you.
Dude, absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So there was so much I wanted to talk to you about, but then, another day then.
Sure, absolutely. I'd love to be back. Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you, Meg.
So before we go, I want to just ask you, was there a moment on the show today where you felt that I didn't expect this to go like this, but this has happened?
So in most of these shows that I have done, it's always been as a doctor, right? But no one's really asked me that question as, who are you? And okay, you feel heard in the space of your profession, but I've never felt heard as a person. And I think you made me feel that, to truly understand. And it always helps me reflect on who I am also now as a person, So it gives me also a little bit of clarity of thought. So that was very, very nice that you actually wanted to know me, and that's not happened before. So that was something really different.
Thank you so much, Reiyaal. It was really, really nice having you on the show. And I will definitely have another session with you very soon.
Sure, much.
Yes.
Thank you.